Hey there, Jennifer. You reckon you remember me? It's your future mother-in-law, Linda, coming your way. Do I have a surprise for ya?
Hello, Linda. It's really nice talking to you. Thanks for inviting me to your family dinner yesterday evening and even letting me stay at your place. I love the cozy atmosphere and your simply delicious cooking. To be honest, I felt like I was truly at home.
Oh, it was nothing, darling. Just my way of showing you the heartiest welcome into my family. I think it's the least I could do to make you feel right at home.
It seems like you're quite the early riser, aren't you? I noticed your missed call starting from 4 a.m. I apologize, but I was still fast asleep during that time, so I couldn't answer the phone. I hope you understand and aren't bothered by it.
Well, bless your heart, I'm not minding one bit. But here's the thing, darling. Once you're hitched into this family, it's kinda an unwritten rule to rise round 3 to 4 in the morning. You see, we're good old farmers, and it's mighty important to tend to all them chores bright and early, all by our lonesome.
Oh, okay, I got it. Thanks for letting me know.
Now, being from the big city, I reckon you might not know the ins and outs of farmer life. But fret not, sugar, 'cause I'll be right there to teach you every last bit about being a farmer. We'll have you plowing fields and milking cows like a pro in no time.
Thank you, Linda. I truly appreciate it. I'll do my best to soak up all the knowledge about how things run in your household. I'm excited for the learning journey ahead, and I know it'll be a whole lot of fun. Your guidance means the world to me.
You know what, Jennifer? Sometimes them city folks can be downright clueless and ignorant. They go round acting all high and mighty, looking down on us hard-working farmers, like what we do don't mean a lick to society. Can you believe it? They act like meat just sprouts up on trees or something. It sure makes my blood boil, and I gotta admit, sometimes I feel like giving their filthy mouths a good old slap. No offense, darling, but it sure gets under my skin.
Oh, I understand, Linda. But let's remember that not everyone fits into the same mold. Whether in the city or the countryside, we'll find both good-hearted people and those who could use a little more kindness.
Well, bless your heart, sugar. What in tarnation do you mean by that? Are you insinuating that your precious OL mother-in-law is no good? I declare, that cuts me to the core. I reckon that's just some mighty characteristics of them city folks, isn't it? Always looking down on us country folk.
Oh no.
Linda, you've completely misunderstood me. I never said a word about you being a bad person. Please don't take it that way.
Well, darling, it's all good and dandy. I understand that change don't come easy, especially for folks who've been brought up to disdain us hardworking farmers. I reckon your folks might have filled your noggin with a heap of hogwash and misconceptions about us, trying to make you despise us. But let me tell you, sweetheart, none of that hogwash holds a lick of truth. If we want to have a harmonious relationship, you gotta let go of them silly prejudices your parents planted in your mind about us country folk.
I apologize, but you've got it all wrong. My parents and I hold no prejudice against farmers. Truth be told, we have nothing but utmost respect for you and all the hardworking people who toil away in the fields and farms day in and day out, providing us with nourishing food.
Well now, sugar, if that's what you say, we'll just have to wait and see if your actions back up them words. We all know talk is cheap, and it's actions that truly speaks volumes. On another note, you must have gotten quite a bit of info about me and our kin from our talk yesterday. But there's a few more things I haven't had a chance to share with you just yet.
Oh, all right then. If you think it's necessary or if you genuinely want to share, feel free to tell me about those things. I'm all ears and open to hearing whatever you think is important for me to know.
It's nothing major, darling. It's just a few simple guidelines to keep everything running smooth as silk in our humble abode. We aim to create a cozy and harmonious environment for all of us to live together under this roof, that's all. You see, keeping the house in order is always mighty important. It helps keeps things tidy and ensures everything's in its rightful place.
Oh, what exactly do you mean by, for us to live together? Are you saying that James and I will be living with you and the rest of the family? I'm just curious because our living arrangements haven't been discussed yet.
Well, of course. There's no other way to interpret what I just said, now is there? Oh, bless your heart, I forgot. You being one of them city slickers, you might not be fully aware of how things work round these parts. See, here it's common sense for the wives to live with their husband's family after getting hitched. It's all about showing love, affection, and bringing everyone closer together.
Oh, really? That's quite surprising to hear. This whole living arrangement after marriage is actually news to me.
You see, that's why us country folks are known for our hospitality and friendliness. We're a whole different breed compared to them city folks who always seem so cold-hearted and hostile towards each other.
I find it a bit surprising because James never brought up anything like that to me. Actually, he told me that he wanted to purchase a new house in the city for us to live in together. You see, we're currently employed by a company located in the city, so it's only natural that he would prefer us to reside there.
What? Did James tell you that himself? Why didn't he bother to tell me? To be honest, that's a shock to me. He could have at least given me a heads up. I thought after all these years of working in the city, he'd miss Mom and Dad and come back to his hometown to repay us for raising him into the fine young man he is today. I guess I was just wishful thinking. Of course, why would he want to live with a poor old lady like me instead of a young pretty girl like you?
I'm sorry if you weren't aware of his intentions yet. But trust me, James loves you and he'll tell you about his plans when he's ready. Just give him some time.
Well, all right then, darling, if you say so. It looks like you're the only decent soul I can rely on to rein in my headstrong boy. Oh, and speaking of which, when will you be heading back to the city? I know your visit round these parts won't last forever, will it?
Oh, I've actually planned to head back home in 2 days. You see, I have work to tend to as well. Plus, I only took a short leave of 5 days to come visit this town and have a lovely get-together with you and the rest of the family.
Well, shoot. Only 2 days? That's a darn shame. I was hoping you could stay as long as your heart desires. There's a heap of things round this old house I want to show ya and teach ya. But hey, no need to fret. 2 days is still plenty of time for a mother and daughter-in-law to build a bond, don't you think? We'll make the most of it, you can count on that. Don't you worry none, my dear. I've got some mighty fine plans in store for us. I promise we'll have a grand time together.
The next day.
Rise and shine, darling. It's high time you woke up and got ready to burn off extra calories. We don't have a moment to waste, Jennifer. I want us to squeeze every drop of goodness out of them 2 days you're staying here. And let me tell you, I've already got it all planned out, every little thing you should be doing.
Oh, Linda, it's only 4 a.m. I understand you're eager for us to have some quality time together, but did you really have to knock on my door this early in the morning? It's still dark outside, and I could really use a bit more sleep. Can we perhaps plan our activities for a bit later in the day?
Oh, Jennifer, how can I expect you to marry into my family if all you know how to do is sleep till the afternoon? You gotta step up and prove yourself worthy of being a part of this family. The only way you can do that is by following my lead and doing everything I tell ya. Just take a gander at your side, Jennifer. My boy, James, went out of the house ages ago to deliver them eggs to the grocery store. He's already out there working hard while you're still snoozing. You should feel ashamed of yourself.
Oh, really? James is already out? That's strange.
Well, now, what's so peculiar about that? My boy James, he's a fine young man, I tell ya. Even though he's taking a break from work, he still keeps his folks in mind and helps them out however he can. But you, my dear, ought to be downright ashamed. You can't just lie there in bed and conjure up a heap of excuses to dodge your womanly responsibilities. Lazy gals like you might as well be 6 feet under. You're making all us women look bad. Back in my day, a lass like you would have gotten a good whack with a rod for pulling that kind of stunt.
I'm not trying to get out of my chores, but it's just so early in the morning. I'm not used to waking up at 4 a.m., especially on a weekend.
Well, look at you. I reckon my boy must have spoiled you rotten, isn't that right? But let me set something straight. This isn't your house, so don't go thinking you're gonna be treated like some princess round here. Now, listen up and listen well. I'm only giving you 1 more minute to get yourself up and ready. We got a whole day stretching out ahead of us, with a list of chores as long as a country mile. So, chop now. Time's a-wastin'.
All right, I'm already up, so you don't need to keep knocking on the door.
A few moments later.
Have you finished all the morning chores I gave ya, darlin'? I sure hope you did, 'cause if you didn't, rest assured I'll make sure you get a good old-fashioned punishment that you rightly deserve.
Honestly, Linda, how can you expect me to complete every single task on your never-ending list in just a few measly hours? And to top it off, you didn't even bother showing me how to do them.
Now hold your horses, there, no need to be a drama queen. Is this how them city slickers always act? Complaining at the first sight of a little challenge? If you're gonna keep acting like a soggy noodle soup, then I reckon you're not the right match for my son, darling. Perhaps a drama queen like yourself ought to find someone who's just as skilled at stirring up a fuss over nothing. Face the facts, you just don't fit in with our family. It's high time you admitted it.
Your words don't make any sense. Instead of pointing fingers at me, why don't you take a good, hard look at the mile-long list of chores you handed me? Feeding livestock, mending fences, planting corn, scrubbing the hog lot and chicken house, and even taking showers for the pigs. The list goes on and on. Can you blame me for feeling overwhelmed?
Well, just a friendly reminder for ya, darlin'. We aren't gonna be using no fancy corn planter contraption. Nope, you'll be planting them corns by hand, every last one of 'em. We gotta cover that whole field with them seeds, ya hear? Now, it'll be a mighty fine exercise for lazy gals like yourself. No rush, take your sweet time, but make sure that work gets done by the end of today. I'm not taking no excuses for no delays, you got that loud and clear?
Manually plant the corn? Are you joking? Do you even realize that the cornfield is a whopping 40 acres in size? It would take me days on end to get that done by hand, not to mention the scorching hot temperatures we're dealing with. I'd literally keel over from the heat.
Now, what's all the fuss about? Planting corn seeds by hand is as natural as a cow chewing cud. Our ancestors have been doing it that way for ages. How do you reckon they manage to handle all that plant and business without fancy machines? They relied on their trusty hands, that's how. It's a good OL tradition that's been passed down through generations, and we aren't breaking it now.
And what about this business of taking showers for the pigs? Do you honestly expect me to handle that all by myself?
Now, listen up, you lazy sloth. There's nothing too much for a woman to handle round here. And you better believe you'll be taking showers for each and every one of them pigs in that lot. Remember to be extra gentle so as not to hurt my precious pigs. They're worth their weight in gold, my money, so you better take extra care with them. And let me make it clear, if I see even one scratch on their skin, you'll be paying for the damages, you hear? Oh, and by the way, you're only allowed 1 hour to get it all done. So, get to it.
You've got to be kidding me. Look, I appreciate that you care about your pigs, but do you realize that there are hundreds of them on your farm? You can't honestly expect me to wash each and every one of them by myself, and on top of that, in just 1 hour.
Seriously? Tell me, are you a human or a pig yourself? A human can't be that lazy. Now listen here, you bring nothing but shame to all them fine ladies like me. Why don't you mosey on over to the hog lot and make yourself at home? You don't have to do much there, just snooze, chow down, and wait for others to tidy up after you. I reckon that kind of life must be a dream come true for lazy folks like yourself, huh? Boy, oh boy, how pitiful.
Listen, Linda, I'm not sure what's gotten into you or if I've unintentionally upset you, but I believe you're being unreasonable here. I've already pitched in by feeding the chickens and tidying their coop this morning. And that's about all I can manage for now.
What do you think you're doing, defying your own mother-in-law like that? Is this the way a daughter-in-law ought to treat her husband's dear OL mama? I can't rightly believe my own ears. If you keep carrying on like this, there's no way I'm letting you hitch to my boy, ya hear? Jennifer? I know you're within earshot, so quit ignoring me. It's mighty rude and disrespectful, and you dang well know it. Jennifer. I'm demanding an answer this instant. I swear on my boots, if you keep ignoring my commands, there'll be consequences to pay.
1 week later.
Linda. Please, open this door and let me out. Why would you do something like this to me? Why did you shove me into the hog lot and slam the door shut? I haven't done a single thing to harm you, Linda. I don't deserve this treatment.
Well, isn't that just a fit consequence? That's what happens when you defy my commands, darling. Now you best learn your lesson and be a good obedient daughter-in-law. You'll be sleeping right alongside them dirty pigs until you change my mind and tend to all those chores I assigned you. Ha 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 ha. There's nobody coming to save you now. My husband and son are gone, and they won't be back anytime soon. So you better get cozy with them hogs, 'cause you're on your own, sweetheart.
Linda, you've gone plumb crazy. I genuinely believed you were a decent person, but it's clear as day now that you harbor some deep-rooted prejudice against me.
Well, isn't that just rich? Look at you, strutting round all high and mighty, acting all cocky and arrogant in my presence. Just 'cause you come from them fancy, dirty cities don't mean you're better than anyone else. I reckon you think you're some big shot, city slicker, trying to lure my boy away to live in the concrete jungle with ya. Well, I'll tell you right now, darlin'. That isn't happening. Don't you forget, I'm James's mother, and he listens to me, not you. So go on and enjoy the company of them hundred of filthy pigs. Bet your whole darn body smells like manure now. Ha!
Aren't you forgetting something? I happen to have my trusty phone right here with me. so I'll just give my husband a ring and tell him to come back and help me.
Well, isn't that a hoot? And your wildest dream, sweetheart? I already wrecked his phone, so there's no way you can reach him no more. Why don't you just accept your fate and embrace the pig farm, 'cause that's where you belong, darling. You've earned it fair and square. And if you happen to feel a growling in your belly, go ahead and help yourself to the same grub my pigs enjoy. Heard it's my nutritious, them pig feeds. Who knows? Maybe if you slick around long enough, you'll morph into a pig yourself. Ha! Although truth be told, you're not far off from one as it is.
Linda, you've gone completely off the rails. If you don't get me out of here, I swear I'm gonna call the police on you. I'm not even joking with you.
Well, aren't you just a bundle of joy? If you feel so inclined, go right ahead and trot on down to the police station. But let me tell you, darling, it's a mighty long ride from there to my house. And truth be told, they wouldn't care about some petty squabble like this. It's not worth their time, I reckon. Oh, I'm just tickled pink with happiness. Can't believe my luck. Seeing my revenge play out so smoothly. Every little piece fell right into place just like I planned. Now, Jennifer, darling, there's no point in wailing or making a fuss. There's nobody around here to hear ya. Best accept your fate and let yourself rot in that pig farm.
A few minutes later.
Jennifer. Where are you? I stepped outside for a breath of fresh air, but what in the Sam Hill? The door to the pig farm is wide open. Did you somehow find a way to skedaddle from that place? How dare you, I say.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Your dear husband and son made their way back home, and guess what? They lent me a hand and got me out of that pig farm.
What? My husband and son came home? How could they? That's impossible.
They spilled the beans to me. You convinced them to haul those eggs clear to some distant grocery store, and then you went and tamped with their car so they couldn't make it back. You deliberately loosened the oil nut, knowing it would wreak havoc on the engine after a while on the road. Do you even grasp the magnitude of the peril you put your own husband and son in? Luckily, they managed to reach out to a kind-hearted friend nearby who gave them a lift back home.
What? I can't believe this. My plan went all the hell and back. This is just unacceptable. Everything was so perfectly planned and well thought out. How could it go wrong like that? I'm plumb flabbergasted.
You've got some serious issues, Linda. What on earth possessed you to concoct such a twisted scheme? Is it because you harbored some hatred towards me and wanted to seek vengeance? Honestly, I haven't even done anything to you to deserve this.
You hit the nail on the head. It's true, I can't stand ya. I despise the fact that you hail from them big cities. You can't stand that high and mighty copter attitude you dish out when you talk to others. I also can't stand the fact that you roped my boy and move into the city and shacking up with you for good. Honestly, you make my stomach churn. There isn't a single thing about you that stirs up any sympathy in me.
That's downright absurd. It's not true at all what you're saying.
I'm not done talking. All you're good for is whispering poisonous words in my son's ear about me, trying to turn him against his own kin. In other words, you engineered the whole thing, plotting and scheming to tear my family apart. You're the root cause of why my boy chose to abandon his family.
Why on earth are you making such generalizations about people from big cities? I've never behaved in a cocky or arrogant manner. And your accusations are completely unfounded. And besides, I had nothing to do with James's decision to move to the city. He's a grown man, and he can make his own decisions. In fact, he told me that he hates it when he tried to dictate his life.
Oh wait, what? James can't stand me? No way! Does this mean I lost this battle? No, I know. I flat out refuse to reckon with this reality. You best believe you need to send my boy back to me, you hear? I found him a new, flawless bride who lives right around these parts, near my house and my farm. If James ties the knot with that gal, he'll be settling down right here with me for good and help me with the farm work.
Stop daydreaming, Linda. Oh, and by the way, your husband told me that what you did to him is unforgivable. That's why he decided to leave you, for good. You'll be receiving divorce papers from him soon.
Hold on there just a cotton-pickin' minute. Divorce papers? Are you plumb loco? Why in the world would my own husband want to divorce me, of all things?
You heard me crystal clear. And as you might expect, James didn't keep it a secret either. He made it known to me that he intends to take legal action against you. Tampering with someone's vehicle and causing damage to the engine is a grave offense, and the consequences are severe. You'll find yourself behind bars for committing such a crime.
What on earth are you yammering about? Prison? Are you pulling my leg right now? I haven't done anything wrong. I simply loosened the oil nut in their car, just a smidge. It wasn't nothing too severe now, was it? I just wanted to keep them from making it back home. I reckon this matter ain't something that needs to be dragged into court. It's not all that serious, if you ask me.
You're terribly wrong, Linda. As I mentioned before, tampering with someone's car is a grave offense, and mark my words, you'll face the consequences fitting for such a crime. Rest assured, the punishment won't be anything light, it will be substantial and just.
No way! You're totally trying to scare me with your bluff. I'm not falling for your lame trap, not in a million years. Seriously, it makes zero sense that my son and husband would ever throw me behind bars. They'd have to be absolute monsters to even think about doing something like that.
Nah.
Linda. They ain't the monsters here. You're the one wearing that title. You put your own husband and son in serious danger all because you want to revenge on me. Listen, I'm not going to waste any more of my precious time talking with you. It's your turn now to deal with all the mess you've caused. Just remember, James and I are hitting the road real soon, and we ain't ever coming back. Oh, you can hide in the pig farm if you want.
No. This is just too much. Come on, Jennifer, I'm begging you, talk some sense into my husband and son. They can't just ditch me like this. We're family, for crying out loud. This isn't how families should treat each other, no way. Look, I'm sorry, all right? I messed up, I admit it. So please cut me some slack this time. I promise I'll support your wedding with James. You've got my blessings. I really don't want to end up in prison. That place isn't for me. It's for real criminals, and I'm definitely not one of them.
Why didn't you think it through before committing that terrible crime? It's already way past time for apology now. You've made your bed, now lie in it. No one's going to swoop in and save you from facing the music anymore. It's time to own up to the consequences. After that, Linda's husband, John, took a courageous step and reported her reprehensible actions to the authorities. As a result, she was found guilty and received a prison sentence. Following this, John and Linda made the difficult decision to end their marriage. It became evident that John had endured Linda's oppressive behavior for a considerable period, and her actions, which put both him and their son in danger, became the breaking point. Throughout the trial, Linda lost control, hurling insults at me and making threats, vowing to seek revenge on me and my family once she was released. In order to ensure the safety of my loved ones, I had no alternative but to obtain a restraining order against Linda. On a more positive note, James and I finally exchanged vows and had the wedding we had always envisioned. The day went flawlessly, just as we had imagined. We even extended an invitation to John to join us in celebrating our special day. Our determination lies in leaving the past behind and embracing a brighter future ahead.